is the digital revolution going to have an adverse quality on the content quality, and are the publishers going to be squeezed out because we're not needed? And did I get that right?
Yeah.
And it sort of goes back to the original thing that I say, and I always say this, and I'm speaking as myself, by the way, not as a HarperCollins person. I believe that I want my authors to be with me because we're fabulous, not because I've somehow tricked them or forced them into being with us. And you know, Bob and Julia, who I work with, are brilliant editors, and they add a lot of value, unmatched, that I found in that area. And I'm really good at spreading the word about something. I'm really good at that. So I feel like I can bring that value. So yes, I do think there's going to be more of it. I'm sure there is tons more. But I think because of these tools, that the cream will rise, and that, you know, we do still bring value. But the days of, like, you know, kind of being asleep on the job and like just doing it because you do it, and like that, I kind of think are, you know, is ending.
It seems like you work with authors in your outreach efforts, and I'm wondering, we're asking so much of authors nowadays, traditional things like perhaps you're going on a tour, or perhaps you're talking to book clubs by phone, by internet, by Skype. Now we're saying, you know, it'd be a great idea if you were on Twitter. Do you have a Facebook account? Do you do MySpace? Oh, if you want to have a blog, here are some platforms.
Right.
Are you writing your next book? I'm wondering at which point you, when you're talking with each author, just in your experience, how do you decide who's doing what? And how is this actually working out for you author to author? Are some people just overloaded? And do you choose per person? Or you kind of have a blanket statement for all, like,
No,
do everything
never
you
blanket
can?
statement, ever, ever, ever. It's always tailored for who they are. I do think that when an author can do all this stuff and use all the tools, they are way, 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 way more valuable, and that the days of, you know, an author sitting back and saying, okay, what are you going to do for me, are, you know, hopefully ending sooner. So I don't, you know, it's their career, you know, we're all in this together, we all want to be successful at it, and for them to communicate on their own is way more valuable and useful than if I go on there and Twitter for them. That's not going to work. It doesn't work nearly as well. It's not as authentic. You can smell that a mile away. So yes, there is the whole range, but I think, you know, as the world is changing faster, an author who is open to learning and experimenting with all these tools so they can communicate, you know, it's becoming more and more and more competitive, and yet there's more and more opportunities. They're going to become more successful and more valuable, and, you know, as a publisher, that's what I look for more and more. Like, if somebody's not willing to do that, I would have to really think hard. I mean, some books would sell themselves, but most no.
A little bit about controlling your own digital presence versus others. Do you agree?
I think you should always control your own personal presence as much as possible. My daughter, she and her friends text message back for each other. They like talk to other, like, my daughter's friend talks to her boyfriend for her. I'm like, oh God, that's horrible. Like, I would never do that. I would never want anyone to do it for me. I would be very uncomfortable doing it for anybody else. The only way I would do it for somebody else is completely transparently, like, hey, this is the publicist, I just called so-and-so, and I would just say it.
Can you talk about mistakes that you've seen be made either by publishers or in the larger world using tools like this that we could learn from? I know that put you on the spot, sort of.
No, not at all. I think that not being transparent is not good in this day and age, and I think it's an opportunity that most people are not fully taking advantage of.
What does that mean?
So for instance, with Amazon, when they had the gaffe, I'm not even clear on what it was, I didn't follow it, where they took the books and put them in some gay category, or what was it? Adult category, and like, instead of just coming out and saying what happened, like, they should have been in touch with what was happening. It was all happening live on Twitter. You could see it yourself. I just, you know, I don't think they handled it as transparently as they possibly could have. Or, for instance, with the Domino's pizza, did you guys follow that? Like, some video, they, you know, like stuffing stuff up their nose, and the guy came out, the head of Domino's, and he did a video blog speaking to that, which was good, very good. But he was like reading off of cue cards. Like, come on, like just do it, just be real, and just, you know, and tell us, you know, go back and film your own, you know, kitchen or whatever at any Domino's you want. Like, be real and be transparent about it. Yeah, the old style press release and announcement, like this morning at Amazon, I feel like that's kind of old and over. Did that answer the question at all?
Yeah, I was just curious.
Okay.
Speaking of older models,
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in your take on kind of the back end, the editorial process of manuscript development, which often involves the routing of paper and working in an 8x11 environment, and how that needs to give or not, given all of the digitisation that's happening at the front end.
I don't know a ton about that to answer that as well as I want to, but two things I think. The time between when you get a manuscript and when it can be published seems just crazy long to me, and it feels like it needs to be seriously shortened. I mean, there are so many books that I hear about. We just, like basically almost every book at HarperStudio, not all, but almost every is a crash book, which means that it's like 6 months or under. That seems to be like normal in this day and age. Like, how can you buy a book about something topical for 2011? Like, so that whole process, I personally still need to write if I'm editing something, so I do need to print it out. There is like an electronic system that Katie, who's sitting next to you, knows. She's the only one that knows how to do that at HarperStudio, and it's crazily complicated. So I don't have much to say on it except for it should be simpler and it should be shorter. So if anybody can figure that out, there's like managing ed people, please.
Well, thank you so much. This is really, really interesting. So much to thank you all for coming here to the first meeting of the Digital Publishing Group. Hope you'll all get involved in various initiatives, whether it's organizing events, the internship program. Wanted to thank again Michael Healy from the Publishing Study Group for sponsoring it. The cookies and brownies right there. Wanted to and Maggie, of course.
Enjoy the presentation, and I think you can tell that Debbie and Susan and myself and Michael too are really optimistic about all the things that are going on in the overall. And you know, it's not something to feel scared about or feel like it's a really grim outlook. I mean, there's more opportunities than things being taken away. So I hope you take something positive away from that. But thanks all of you for coming, and I hope to see you guys again in June at our next lunch. Yes.
No, I mean,
Yeah, we just take over some.
About every department.